Monkey.
Incredible. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is going to duck Shakur Stevenson. And, Isaac Pitbull Cruz's father came out and said that essentially that they prefer the Lomachenko fight and that it's a more exciting fight and it will be Shakur Stevenson, running around the ring and Isaac Pitbull Cruz trying to chase him down. And it will be a boring fight. I mean, what an absolute load of nonsense. Shakur Stevenson running around the ring. This guy has elite boxing, from his footwork to his timing to his distance, from, his ring IQ. Nothing about Shakur Stevenson's game, makes me think that he's a runner. This guy is a pure boxer whose skill levels are unmatched by any of his rivals. He is an extremely defensively responsible fighter, and he gives fighters no chance of beating him. Look at the Oscar Valdez fight. Shakur Stevenson literally won every minute of every round in that fight. Shakur Stevenson is going to be a serious problem for the 135-pound division. It's hard to really see anyone beating him. I mean, if anyone does beat him, it's probably Devin Haney. But even someone like a Gervonta Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia, I don't see them beating Shakur Stevenson. They obviously have a puncher's chance, but Shakur Stevenson is too defensively responsible to get caught, by one big punch from Ryan or Tank. And that's the reason Isaac Pitbull Cruz doesn't want to fight him. Isaac Pitbull Cruz and his father know that Cruz's chance of beating Shakur is very low because Shakur is too skilled for Isaac Cruz. I mean, Isaac Pitbull Cruz got outboxed by Gervonta Tank Davis, who had one hand. So imagine what a fully fit Shakur Stevenson could potentially do to someone like Isaac Pitbull Cruz. This is someone who's been glorified off losing to Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a fighter get so much credit for losing a fight as Isaac Pitbull Cruz did. To essentially a one-handed fighter. It's not a fully fit Gervonta Tank Davis that he fought. He fought a physically impaired Gervonta Davis. So for me, it's another instance of essentially fighters not wanting to challenge themselves. Isaac Pitbull Cruz and his team obviously want to minimize the amount of losses on his record to maximize financial earnings. And I guess from that point of view, we all need money, so you can't really blame him. He wants to have the best career as possible, and he believes that having the least amount of losses is better for his career. So he'd rather fight someone like a Lomachenko, who didn't look fantastic in his last fight, who looks to potentially be aging, but that's not going to happen because Loma wants to fight Devin Haney and they're negotiating for an undisputed title bout. So really, Isaac Cruz, it's going to be Shakur Stevenson, or he's just going to protest himself out of the fight, which would be very embarrassing for him because his name is Pitbull, but if anything, he's acting like a duck. And it's really disappointing because I was interested to see how Isaac Cruz's pressure fighting, could affect Shakur Stevenson. I was willing to see if, maybe Shakur Stevenson's chin could be tested because we've never really seen his chin tested. I wanted to see how his chin could potentially hold up from, big punches in the 135-pound division. But it looks like we might not see that because, again, Isaac Cruz doesn't want no smoke with Shakur Stevenson. And very few fighters, ever wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson. Even Oscar Valdez wasn't so eager to fight Shakur Stevenson. Didn't Oscar Valdez move up in weight to avoid Shakur Stevenson? But Shakur ended up moving up in weight as well and beating Oscar Valdez. So you can run, but you can't hide from Shakur Stevenson. Eventually, he will get you. And at the end of the day, skills pay the bills. Moving around the ring laterally, boxing, changing levels, having good footwork, timing, and distance. That's what makes you a world-class fighter, whilst minimizing, significant damage, later on in life. A lot of fighters, they like to exchange on the inside, rock 'em, sock 'em, and they end up getting, severe, brain damage or suffer some kind of neurological issue because all they did was fight on the inside and, fight in wars essentially. But, if you want to minimize your risk of injury or any neurological issues as a fighter, it's best to be an elite boxer, an outboxer, someone who boxes from the outside from distance. Now, from an entertainment point of view, we often like to see knockouts. So, when people exchange on the inside, that's often when knockouts happen. That's why someone like a Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney don't have a load of knockouts. One, they're not the biggest punchers, I can accept that, but they often don't exchange punches on the inside with fighters because they're a safety first type fighter. They understand defensive responsibility. In comparison to Isaac Cruz, he doesn't have the skill level to keep up with someone like a Shakur Stevenson. So he'll be trying to cut off the ring, trying to close the distance, but he won't be good enough, and Shakur will pick him apart. And Shakur could even knock him down coming in, because Oscar Valdez got knocked down trying to close the distance against Shakur Stevenson, but he came in erratically. He wasn't elusive, and his head wasn't off the center line, and Shakur caught him with a shot and knocked him down. So yeah, I overanalyzed that a bit too much, but again, very disappointing to see that Isaac Cruz ducking Shakur Stevenson. What are your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below? I mean, some people will say Isaac Cruz isn't ducking Shakur Stevenson. To me, this is a blatant duck. I mean, hopefully the WBC can, I guess you could say, force the fight, but when one fighter doesn't want to fight, it's going to be very difficult to make the fight happen. And I feel for Shakur Stevenson because, this would have been a pretty good win on his resume. Shakur's building up a nice resume. Jamel Herring, Oscar Valdez, Robson Conceição. It would have been good to have someone like a Isaac Cruz on his resume, but obviously Isaac Cruz don't want no smoke. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Peace.